Now, through the miracles of modern technology, zany worldwide banner featuring Tom, Michelle, and Jim in an on-topic, off-topic free-for-all. Welcome to the Gun Talk After Show.
All right, it's the after show. We're gathered together to do something. Or barbecue, that's what it is. It's barbecue, guys.
Yay!
Yay! Jim's here, Michelle's here, the gang's all here.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi, guys. It's 9/11. I thought it was a good show. We had able to get John Tucci on here, kind of a personal view of what it was like to be right in the middle of that. And Jim, I know you've heard the story before, but it's still moving, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, people say, oh, you guys are nuts. You're preparing for this and you're preparing for that. Nobody could have known about that. That's the exact point. You don't know when. If you knew when, you wouldn't go there. That's why you prepare.
Right.
And if there's a perfect example, it's right here. And still people say, yeah, you guys are just paranoid. And I'll say, okay, we're just okay.
Okay, well, you're paranoid as are prepared, so that's okay. We'll live with that. Yeah. And when it happens, and yes, when it happens and you are not, the only thing is, don't look to me to bail you out. My gun is to protect my family. My medical kit is to help my family. You should have brought your own.
Hello, Tom.
Sorry.
I've rethought everything. Tom, let me in.
That's right. You remember that story of the guy called Charlton Heston in the middle of the Watts riots, and said, "Chuck, they're coming our way here. The rioters. You've got guns. Can I get one of your guns?" And Charlton Heston says, "No." He says, "I remember you spoke in favor of the 10-day waiting period, and I suggest you go fill out your paperwork and wait the required 10 days."
Classic.
Yeah, that's how it works. Oh, never thought of that. Yeah, right. There we go again, right?
Right.
No one could have imagined. Yes, they could have. So there you go. Hey, let's go talk to John. He's in Temple, Texas. John, you look like you're trying to figure out which 380 to get.
Yeah, I was, first of all, looking at the LCP, Ruger LCP, but then I found out it doesn't have a safety, and it's also a bad recoil, according to a friend of mine. And then I looked at the Remington 380, and it was a nice little gun. Mm-hmm. But then while I was getting some ammo for my 38 Special, the other day, I saw they had a Taurus 380 on display. And so I took a look at it, and I kind of liked that gun. So I'm just wondering now which would be the better buy of the three.
Well, the better buy is
the Ruger 380 or the
they're different guns.
380 or the Taurus 380.
But they're different guns. They do different things. Now, have you shot any of them?
No, I had many years ago when I was still in South Africa. I had a Walter PPK when that movie came out with 007.
Right.
I had to turn in his Beretta for a 380, and after I saw that movie, I said, I've got to get one of those. And I got one, and I carried that one for 15 years. I'm so sorry I sold it. I fell so in love with that gun. But I wanted to use some of the money for my return trip to the States, so I sold it to a guy there. And but
here's the thing: the LCP is smaller, just a little smaller than those other guns, and yes, it's going to have some recoil because the smaller the gun is, the lighter the gun is, the more it's going to have recoil for a given caliber. If you had a really heavy gun, it wouldn't kick very much. But the LCP is the easiest one to conceal if you are concealing a gun. So there's that. I would also what you really need to do is you need to find a range where you can rent guns and you can try these. Once you have shot them, you'll say, no, yeah, okay, I like that one. And I don't know which way it's going to be. Let me throw another one out here, too. If you can find it. Glock has one that is the Glock Model 42.
Yep.
Yeah, the Model 42 is a 380, and it is a delightful little pistol and shoots really, really well.
Oh, okay.
If you are concerned with it having an external thumb safety, I would say stop thinking about that. If you have a good holster then you don't need a thumb safety. Just keep your finger off the trigger till you're ready to shoot. A lot of these guns are not going to have a thumb safety.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have a problem with that. I was just thinking in terms of my wife, maybe. But I guess training is the key there. Just have it trained real. Lot of training.
Just work on it. Yeah, absolutely. And practice picking up the gun, and the finger is straight along the side. It never goes on the trigger. It never goes on the trigger. It never goes on the trigger until the sights are on the target. And here's the other part. And you've made a conscious decision to fire. Just having the sights on the target is not enough. So if you will always keep your finger off the trigger, you're not going to have a problem.
Okay. Good.
All right.
Thanks
well, look, I would say just try to find something you can shoot. I think that's going to be the thing there. Michelle, I know you do the same thing. People come in, this one versus that one. Hey, go shoot them, right?
Exactly. It's like picking a Ford or a Chevy. What do you want? Somebody likes one brand better than the other. So, you definitely need to try them on, take it for a test drive. This instance, take it out to the range, do some test shooting. The other one that he might want to try is the SIG 380.
Oh, that's true. Is it 238?
238, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Man, is that a nice pistol. It's like a miniature 1911.
Right. And the slide's easy to work. And I've shot them. I think they're phenomenal shooting pistols for as small as they are.
I agree.
Awesomely
and
performing.
I don't know what they do. They don't seem to recoil a lot.
No, they don't. It's great performance.
And you're right. You can literally take your index finger and put it on the rear sight and flip that slide back. That's how easy those slides are to operate. You're exactly right. That's a great design. So and it's also an all-metal gun. If you prefer metal, steel guns, you get that with this.
Right, and they're so small.
There you go. Yeah, and they're small too. Exactly right.
Yep.
Let's talk to Matthew for a minute. He's in Metairie, Louisiana. Hey, Matthew, what you looking for?
Well, first of all, let me say, Tom, you're a deplorable American.
Well, I am, aren't I? I am as deplorable as possible. Half of the Trump supporters, I guess, are deplorable, which means that we are, racist, sexist, misogynist.
Bigoted, homophobe.
Xenophobe.
Xenophobe, that's right. I can't be a xenophobe. I kind of like the xenon lights, so what can I tell you? It's
well, that's a great segue into my question. You have, in the past, promoted Surefire lights, and I used to carry a flashlight with me all the time, but my pockets keep tearing them up. Either moisture gets in there and they stop working, or the button that triggers the light gets triggered in my pocket, and when I go to pull it out, the battery's dead.
Interesting. Now,
so I was wondering, are Surefire lights pocket-proof?
Well, when you said the button, were you using the ones that had the button on the back of the light?
I've used the ones that had the buttons on the back. I've used the ones that have had the buttons on the side. Something always seems to trigger the light.
Okay. Well, for the last several years, I've been using one from Streamlight, not Surefire. I mean, Surefire makes good stuff.
Streamlight.
But I've been using the Streamlight ProTac 1L, PROTAC 1L is Lima.
Right.
It carries one CR123 battery. The nice part of it is I've had 2 or 3 times I've had a light come on in my pocket, but it doesn't stay on that long because it will set you on fire. And once your pocket starts smoldering or your leg gets really, really hot, you reach down and turn it off. So it's okay.
So in other words, it has a notification system.
In a sense, it does. Yeah, that's a lot of light power. I love those little lights. I have given away probably a dozen of them, and I probably convinced another dozen or so of my friends to get them, and they all go, "Wow, this is a great light." It's like $40 from Amazon or something, and but the
so it's not
Streamlight
even massively expensive either.
No, it's not. It's more money than the $4 Chinese junk, but there again, I like for it to work when it comes out of my pocket. So
that's always a plus. I found that lights that don't work when you bring them out of your pocket, at the very best, they make you look silly. At the very worst, it's a dirty cuss word, fecal matter moment.
It's like a guy I know. He says, you know what a flashlight is? That's the place where you store your dead batteries.
Well, see, you got to think past that. If your batteries die, until you replace them, you've got a set of, in this case, aluminum knuckles.
It's an impact weapon. That's
yes,
exactly
absolutely.
Right. So, yeah, and I will tell you, the CR123 batteries are amazing, but if you buy them at your local stores, they can be really expensive. And so buying them online, buy brand name, but buy them online, and I get them, I don't know, I think I get like a half a gross at a time. I'm literally 72 of them. They last a long time in storage, and I burn through a lot of them. So there you go. But that's what I would do. Take a look at the Streamlight ProTac 1L. There are a lot of batteries out there, and they're all pretty darn good these days. But that's one I'm familiar with anyway. Hey, Matthew, appreciate the call. Yeah, you guys ever had a flashlight turn on and just start cooking things?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
You're smarter than we are, but you already knew that.
There's lots of things in this world that are smarter.
I do have one of the little cheap offshore ones, Tom, and I have to press it 3 times for it to come on.
Well, as long as you know it's only 3.
Right? Yeah, because if it was an even number, I'd be, press it 3 times.
3 times?
Yeah.
You have to rub your tummy and pat your head at the same time.
He can't do it.
I think that's their version of it.
So it takes him 3 times.
And the funny thing is, I don't think it's a program. I think it's just really lousy switch. It just doesn't work.
Oh, it's just a bad switch.
I think that is their pocket. Their pocket proofing is by making you hit the switch multiple
3
times.
3 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing is, I like having the momentary switch where it comes on when you just hold it on, and then when you release it, it turns off. Mm-hmm. So it's a momentary switch, but then if you want to press it harder, it will click and stay on.
Oh, 2-stager.
The momentary is important for self-defense situations where you want to turn it on real quickly and turn it off and release, that way basically, they call it light discipline. If you're moving through a place, you shine it and move, shine it and move, shine it and move. But you never stay in the place where you were when you turned it on if you think there's a threat out there. Because where do you think they're going to be shooting? Is where they just saw the light.
Correct.
That's why having that momentary switch on there is pretty handy.
No, that's all LED, right?
Yeah, all LED. We used to have halogen or at least incandescent bulbs in the early Surefires, and they were good and powerful, but when you dropped it on concrete, it would break them, and it got real expensive. And now that we have these LEDs, they're more powerful, and they're practically indestructible.
Well, I guess we can add halogen phobe to the list.
Nice.
I'm a halogen phobe. Okay, I like that. Yeah, there you go. So that's because we're the what are we? Deplorables. That's what we are.
The deplorables.
Deplorables. I think we're going to do a takeoff on Despicable Me or something.
The deplorable us.
That's right. Deplorable us. I like all that. There you go. Hey, let's take a break, guys, and come back. We'll talk a little bit about kind of recharging our batteries and recommitting after the 15th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. Sounds good? We'll be right back.
FN handguns bear the DNA of legends, of John Browning, the father of modern firearms, of the artisans and craftsmen who brought his genius to life, of the brave souls who defended our freedom on the front lines for the last 100 years, and the brave souls who defend it on the home front today. FN handguns, the DNA of legends in the palm of your hand. Ask for FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
If you're a hardcore duck hunter, Mossberg has a gun for you. The new Pro Series shotguns were designed and built to be the most reliable, most durable semi-automatic duck guns anywhere. Rain, ice, snow, it doesn't matter. When the weather gets tough, these new Mossberg shotguns will keep the shot flying and the ducks falling. This season, don't leave anything to chance. Head to your blind with one of the new Pro Series shotguns from Mossberg. Great performance at a great price. Learn more at mossberg.com.
All right, it is the 15th anniversary today as we're speaking of the attacks in 9/11. And oh, by the way, just a pet peeve, it drives me nuts when the media people say the 9/11 incidents or the incidents of, it was not an incident. It was an attack. And you know what? let's just get it out there. It was an Islamic attack. And if you can't identify the problem, you cannot deal with the problem. So there it is. Get over it. And for those who don't really know, it was also an attack primarily from Saudi Arabia, because that's where they came from and that's where the money came from. Oh, yeah. Those are the ones that just contributed $120 million or something to the Clinton Foundation. Gee, there couldn't be a problem there.
Best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, no kidding. So anyway, as you kind of look at it, it's a good time to recommit, just to say, okay, let me take stock of where we are and what I do and where I go and my preparedness. Not to be nutso about it, but just, kind of looking at it. What do you think?
Well, back up a little bit, Tom. What changed for you? I mean, you've been a gun guy all along.
Okay, I'm further back now. Does this sound better?
Yeah, okay, so now that you're back.
Okay, that's not what you meant. Okay, I'm sorry.
There's people, I became more of a gun guy because that's right around the time I hooked up with you. So I became more of a gun guy. But you were a gun guy prior to that. How did you change? And then we can kind of share our stories on how you prepared and treat yourself.
I changed in a couple of ways. It just happened at the time when concealed carry was really sweeping the country. 15 years ago, we didn't have concealed carry in all the states. We did have it here, where I live in Louisiana. I didn't carry all the time. After that, I started carrying all the time, not because I thought I was going to protect from anything out of the sky or anything, but just kind of one of those, okay. Well, let me back out on that. When this attack happened, about 2 hours after the buildings came down, I went online and I wrote, "This changes everything and nothing will be the same." And people said, "Oh, you're overreacting." And I said, "You have no idea of the personal freedoms and liberties we are going to lose because people will rush to give away their liberties for the promise of some safety." And after that, we got the Patriot Act, we got the Department of Homeland Security, we got TSA, we got all the other stuff that now people think is just regular and normal and we're used to it. And all of those, good, bad, and different, result in a loss of freedom and a loss of liberty. So, I basically was committed to taking care of myself and my family.
What about you, Michelle?
What changed with me?
Yeah, if anything. Did you change at all?
I can't say that I really changed a whole lot. I look at things a lot differently. Obviously, being prepared, having, your go bags, your medical items all in place. Unfortunately, taking a look at the people who are in your country and amongst you, you don't really want to be jaded toward everyone to think that they're the worst, but obviously paying attention, awareness is huge. At the time, I had very small children, and, it's quite emotional for me right now today.
Yep. Well, it is. I will tell you, I don't know if I've ever shared this. After the attacks, I went to the local church. They were having a service there, and I got down on my knees, and I just wept. Mm-hmm. I was inconsolable at the horror, at the loss of life, and at what I knew was coming, and just the war that we're in. And I think, I just wish that people would understand that we are at war, and you don't have to change what you do. You can still go places you want to go. I kind of look at the Israelis, and I say, just go about your life, but just be smart about it.
Right.
Carry the means to take care of yourself, but don't give in to this, saying, well, I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to go do stuff.
Right. Well, and that's what they wanted. The purpose of the attacks were to take down America financially, change the focus
change
of
your
things.
Whole culture. Yeah.
I mean, and, military speaking, the rules of engagement changed drastically because it became a media war where media was embedded. And now, unfortunately, the way that people look at our soldiers and our veterans from these wars is almost as bad as a Vietnam situation because they are being charged with murders. When you have to wait for somebody to shoot at you before you can engage in saving your life, to me is It's crazy. I mean, nobody wants their child in that situation, their son, their husband, whoever it may be. And that's where we've gone.
And that ties into why we're losing 22 a day to suicide.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my kids are in civil service. They're grown adults, but it's a tough day.
Yeah, I understand it is. It's and so what you end up with is you say, okay, I'm not going to just go curl up in my corner and cry about it and get depressed. I've already done all that thing. Mm-hmm. So what good can I get out of this? Is there some good I can get? Well, okay. Sure, there's a lot of stuff. You say, okay, I'm going to call my kids a lot. I'm going to make sure that I'm always talking to my family. I'm going to not hold grudges. There's silly things that we all do in every family about holding grudges with somebody in your family. Get over all that foolishness. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need a thing like that to go, okay, let's really talk about what's important here. That kind of a thing. We're inconvenienced by some things, and we need a calibration now and then to say, okay, that stuff you're sweating, that's not important, really.
Right. Well, I think, it's important spouse-wise to take some of that responsibility up on yourself and help protect yourself in your family. That way you're not relying on one strong person necessarily. I mean, I know that was a huge relief to my husband. We've obviously been in the gun industry for a very long time, but, that was our change of focus.
When you started carrying, when you started taking care of yourself, that was a relief for your husband?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
It was something that we hadn't ever talked about. So as I'm, taking my classes and doing my range time, after the application and I went and received my certificate, my husband was like, "Phew, it's not just on me. If I'm not there, I know that you're ready. I know that you have this. I know that you have the tools. I know, I know that I don't have all the responsibility anymore."
I have to admit, I don't know that I've ever heard that said or expressed. And I'm just thinking, Michelle, about for women who are listening, and maybe they just heard you say, you go do this so that your husband isn't feeling the burden of being the responsible one for the whole thing.
Right. We're in it together. We're in it to win it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
For us and our family. Absolutely.
Good stuff. Yeah. And Jim, what about you?
I have kind of a rainbow story, actually. I met my wife because of 9/11. You had kind of mentioned about don't let it affect your lifestyle, and we're not going to let it change who we are as a people. So I said, it kind of gave me the you only live once perspective, which years later I had that again for another reason. But you only live once. So I was interested in a very fine woman that was way out of my league, and I decided I was going to pursue it. And turned out I've had a wife of 15 years and a beautiful daughter because of it. And it all happened not at 9/11, but because of 9/11. And the timing was just coincidental, but it was a reason to get off my butt and do something about it, as opposed to, gee, wouldn't it be nice if?
Well, and I can absolutely confirm she is, in fact, out of your league.
Oh, no doubt.
And his wife and daughter are beautiful.
Yes, they are, which makes you wonder, that whole thing.
Which is why he carries, yes.
Yes,
that's why they carry.
Right.
They're tired. Oh, boy, speaking of, here's an offshoot here. I had a little go-round the other day with somebody about what a shame it was that some national girl had been killed and found later, and obviously all murders are a shame and terrible. But my point was that attractive women have a higher chance of being targets for rape and murder and abduction and everything else. And I was called everything, but, that until my cop friends piped in and said, no, actually, a girl dressed to the nines walking by herself out of a club is more of a target than somebody who dresses down. So you could be a gorgeous woman, but you're dressing frumpy. That's a protective motif, so to speak. And
I've known women who do that as a defensive mechanism.
But
it's like this is real world. Everything isn't nice, and I wasn't being PC because I said cute girls or hot girls or whatever term. Who cares? The bottom line is you can make yourself more of a target or less of a target by the way you dress up, and you got to I'm not saying you should dress frumpy all the time, but if you dress up to the nines and you're going out on town with the gals, at least, have several gals at a time and carry. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and not just guns and not just multiple people, but situational awareness. And if you're willing to give that up just to look sharp.
I can feel Michelle wanting to jump in on this one here.
Right, and that's exactly it. I think that's the whole point of where I am now. Like you say, you don't want to look at somebody differently just because of the situations that we have faced as a country. So being confident, carrying yourself with confidence, looking around, making that eye contact, that's all that situational awareness. So if you are not allowing yourself to be a target, you aren't going to be. So if you're not married to your texts and Facebook posts and everything else that are coming in on your phone because you're walking out to your car, you're paying attention.
But I got 3 likes.
I know. But chances are, you're going to be liked by the wrong person if that's where your thoughts are.
Yeah, good call.
There you go.
As a matter of fact, I was thinking of you the other day because I was walking through the mall, and I did a little social experiment. I'm Johnny Eye Contact anyway.
Yep.
I just am. I'm a people watcher and have been before defensive reasons. So
Creep.
I'm just a psychopath.
Okay, sorry.
So I'm walking through the mall.
Had to go there. Of course.
Put some wah-wah guitar music in here on the edit, will you? So I'm walking through the mall and I'm doing eye contact and I'm catching myself doing. So now I say, okay, let's have a little experiment like I like to do. Let's extend the eye contact way more than comfortable to people. Because usually even, a big guy or somebody who could be a more of a threat, you think, than somebody
You're
little
right,
or
Michelle.
whatever.
Creep.
He's a creep. So, guys look at guys. I mean, I size up every guy I look at. It's just my nature. Not like, hey, good looking. I want to know if it comes down to fisticuffs, what's this guy's weakness? What can I do? How can I get the hell out of here? But I do. I size up other guys when I walk into a room. So I'm walking through the mall, and I see the first guy I'm sizing up. And I look at him, and you both make that little head nod thing, Tom. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Make the head thing, and I don't look away, and he averts his eyes, and something brings his eyes back, and I'm staring at him, and it wasn't like he thought I was hitting on him or anything else. He got really uncomfortable, and not aggressive uncomfortable. He was looking for,
It's a cultural thing.
Yeah,
it's a cultural deal. Yes.
So I couldn't let it go.
You broke the rules, man.
It was great. It was great because then other people I made eye contact with, their eyes naturally just diverted, or they didn't make any eye contact at all. And those are the funny ones because they don't make eye contact. You continue to try to make eye contact with them.
Well, and that's why they always tell us, look, if you see somebody in the mall or a parking lot or something, and you think there might be something going on, just go to an absolute staring contest.
Right.
I've got you, I see you, I know exactly where you are, and I am looking at you.
Right.
And I am not going to avert my eyes. I understand the rules, and you're depending upon me averting my eyes and looking away, not doing it.
Exactly. And that was my point right up till mall security came and got me.
Great.
Pulled me out. But there was a point I was going there. So.
He's going, Michelle, can you bail me out again?
I told you I was thinking about you.
Wow.
Gee, doesn't that make you feel special?
Right, yes. I'm not sure how, but yes.
Send bail money.
Oh.
Start a GoFundMe. Get the creep out.
Somehow we were on such a high note and it just spiraled right down the drain.
Yeah, first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, that never happened around here. Okay. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Just kind of the takeaway from me is just what you said, Jim. Don't put things off and, just live your life for the day.
I've got a perfect quote. I got a perfect quote for that, Tom. And I got to plug this guy. His name's Pete Hagen out of Allen Park, Michigan. And he said something to me back in 1977. It's stuck with me since. You only live once. Make it a lifetime.
What kind of weed was that guy smoking?
Yeah, he was. They dragged him away while he was saying that, but I thought it was great. Do your best, stay alive, and live it.
Did he follow that with groovy?
Yeah, they on time when we visit him now. It's
when you visit him.
I'm sorry. I know that was profound and meaningful for you. That's
okay. It still is. To each their own.
Is.
Well, I think it's definitely important to not get so embedded in the daily news and in all the pictures that are being thrown at you to forget to dance the dance. Because it's the most important thing. Dance.
Yep.
If it's your daughter, your son, your wife, your mom, I don't care who it is, just do it. take that opportunity.
Like there's nobody watching.
That's right.
The Garth Brooks song, The Dance. Great lyrics,
and
by the way.
There it is.
That's what we got to do. We got to keep on living.
Keep on living. Hug your family. Tell people you love them. Call your friends. Don't let those friendships get stale, even though they're out of town. There you go. Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. It's always fun knocking this around with you.
Be good. Be safe.
Absolutely. Watch your six and hug your family. There you go. Well, check it out next week. And Michelle, thank you. Look, tell your family hello. And I know about your family. Thank them for all their service.
Yes. And thanks to all the first responders and military and police personnel out there, because we wouldn't be anything without any of them. So
amen.
Bless everyone. Yes.
Tell your friends about the Gun Talk After Show, a more informal setting featuring Tom, Michelle, and Jim commenting on topics that are important to you. Available on iTunes and other podcatchers, and the Gun Dealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android.